Last week, we talked about the principles of writing a highly effective product review, and if you have missed it, I've left a link in the description box below. I highly suggest that you watch the previous video before watching this video. This week, I'm going to share with you a live example of one of the most engaging reviews I have, and I will also share with you and explain with you why it has gotten so much attention. That's coming up. Hey, this is Jack from Sprout Marketer, and if you are new here, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell because we are going to share lots of tips and tricks with you every single week to help you grow your online business. So today it will be a little different than the videos I've created in the past because I will be sharing my screen review and actually walking you through the review I've talked about. So let's get started. So if you haven't noticed yet, I'm the creator and founder of BareNakedScam.com, and if you hop onto my website, you will see that I write a ton of reviews about online businesses. I'll be honest with you, not every single review I've written will be the superstar, but you have to keep writing and posting in order for you to gain some traction. And up until now, I have quite a few reviews that are widely shared on the internet. So today I'll be sharing with you one of the most engaging review I have, and this is a review about a company called Changing the Future Outcome. Right, this is basically a network marketing company that focuses on selling the newly legalized CBD oil. And it is said that the CBD oil has a potential to cure lots of complicated diseases, though it's not clinically proven yet, but lots of research has been put into the CBD oil. So with that, since the legalization, lots of companies have been jumping into the industry. So CTFO happens to be one of them. When I first got to know about CTFO, right, honestly, I was intimidated because I didn't know what exactly CBD oil was, and I didn't know how I can get hold of a bottle of it because, as you know, CBD oil is not legalized in many countries yet, including mine. So how is it possible for someone who have absolutely no idea what CBD oil is and have no avenue of getting a bottle of it, write such an engaging review? And if you search on Google, right, let's head over to Google for a second. Right, so if you type CTFO review, you can see that mine is somewhere here. And if you type CTFO scam, you'll find that it is at the top. And if you search for changing the future outcome review, you'll find mine at the top as well. So at this current moment, this review has been getting a lot of search engine traffic. And I can't say that it will stay there forever, it will stay highly ranked forever because Google search engine algorithm keeps changing every single day. So I can't guarantee for the future, but for now it has been getting a lot of search engine traffic because of the high rankings. Right, and the reason was also because that many people have been engaging with this review. And as you can see, let me go into the back office and you can see that there are 123 comments on this review itself. This is Changing the Future Outcome review, and it has 162 shares. So what exactly is going on in this review? Let's find out. But before that, let's do a little recap. Last week, I shared the 6 principles, and they are understanding your audience, tone of your review, importance of the top and the bottom section of your review, placement of your promotional links, ask people to engage with the review, and have many images and videos. So I want to share with you some tips on how to structure your review. The best way to structure your review is to try and understand what are the topics that people want to know. And in order to do that, you have to dig into a lot of research, dig into a lot of comments, go into forums, try to understand what questions people pose. Then as you are going through all those reviews and all those comments, you will probably have some ideas and some personal opinion about something. And you will probably have a lot of questions in mind. And if you've gone through all those comments and you still can't find the answer, that is something that will interest people. All right, because this is something that is not shared on the internet yet. So at a point of time when I was writing this review, there are some questions that I have and that is not found anywhere on the internet yet. I've put some thought into this and I believe that people reading this review will be interested to know. So the first question that I had was the price of the product. So basically, as you read through here, as you can see, this is one of the puzzling questions that I have, the price of the CTFO CBD oil. And why is this puzzling is because when I was doing research, right, I saw so many other companies. Somebody have actually put down a list of companies that's selling CBD oils, and they compare the milligrams and they compare the price and everything, but I couldn't find CTFO in it. And what I realized is that CTFO's CBD oil is the cheapest out of all, but why isn't it posted here? So I applied some of my thoughts into this review. So my initial thought was, if the price of the product is cheap, there must be something that compensates it. Maybe it's the quality. And that's what I was gunning for. I wrote this review based on my negative opinion. And because of this negative opinion, a lot of distributors have came in onto this review and wrote a lot of comments on it saying that they don't agree with me. And that is totally fine as long as you're sparking conversation. So what happened was that a lot of people didn't agree with me because the founders do not collect any management fees. The people at the top gets paid just like any affiliate of the company, and this is a commendable thing. And obviously, with all these comments pouring in, I thought that it's time for me to rewrite this review a little. So that was the initial thought that I had, and I posted this, and it has gotten a lot of attention. And that is probably why I got 162 shares and maybe a lot, 100 over comments. And as I was doing a lot more research, right, I realized that it is not only about the price of the product that matters, it is also the purity of the CBD oil that matters. So as you scroll through, I actually did something over here. So I said, before you run towards CTFO because it is the cheapest in the market, you must know that the price is not the determining factor. It's the purity that counts. And this is also educating people. So people really do appreciate this because they want to know what they should know before they buy the product, right? If they're interested to know more, you can actually dig through this review. Also, the next question that I have is about the lab test of CTFO. Before I wrote this review, right, I can't find any lab test result, and I've written quite a negative review about it. Soon after I've written this review, the lab test result has been posted on the website, and that sparks the conversation as well because there is a discrepancy between the information. So because the information wasn't updated and there is something new that comes into the market, people start pouring in comments as well. What I've done is that after I've rewritten this review, I went in to do some more research on the lab test, and then I found that there is something about this, the myth about third-party lab test result. And the thing that I found is that lab test result can be bought. And I also shared this information here. But this doesn't mean that CTFO falsifies their lab test result. As I have mentioned here, I'm just stating that there is a possibility. So as you can see, this sentence itself, it will spark another conversation. So up to this point, I've demonstrated that I understand what people want, and I've also captured people's attention at the start. So the first and the third principle has already been settled. And about the tone of the review, when I first started this review, when I started to write this review, it was a negative review because there was a lot of questions that I have in mind that I don't have answers to. But as time passes and so many updates going on in the industry, many people have been pouring a lot of comments, and then I rewrote this review again, and it have become a little bit more positive when I have more information. But when it first started, I was negative, but I wasn't super negative. When I pass a negative opinion, I will usually come with facts. And if the facts is not enough, people will come in and give comment. And this is how you actually spark a lot of conversation. And you don't need to be perfect. And that's the key. If you write a perfect review, then people would not have the chance to express what they think about your review because it's already perfect and then people already agree with you. There's no point for them to argue with you, right? So we are trying to create a dialogue in your review, and that is how you actually ask people to give a comment without actually asking them to give a comment. So this checks out in one of the principles as well. And as you scroll through, right, you can actually see that I have a lot of images here and there. Yeah, all these images. And for your information, these images are shared in many places because this is created by me, and I explain all this commission payout structure in all these images. And one other thing is that if you want a lot of people to link to your review or to your images, you need to be the source of information to people. And if you provide this source of information to people, people doing the research or doing some or writing a review themselves, they will link to you because you are the source of the information. So now I've covered almost all the principles I've talked about. I've covered the tone of the review. I've covered the important sections of the review. I've covered that you need to understand your audience thoroughly. I've covered that you should have a lot of images and a lot of videos. I've covered that you need to ask a lot of people to engage with your review. And now the last principle is the placement of your promotional links. So last week we talked about placing not more than 5 promotional links, and 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and 3 in the middle. So how do I place them, and where are they in this review? So the first one, if you scroll down the review, you can see it here. And then as you scroll down, I've placed one here. It should be bigger. I'm not sure why I didn't structure this to be bigger. It's supposed to look like this, right? So this is one of the promotional link, and this is the third promotional link in the middle. And then the fourth one. And then the fifth. All right, then at the end, I also place a few here and there. So in this review, I've actually placed more than 5 promotional links. And the reason is because this review is super long. If your review is short, then the 5 promotional links make sense. But if your review is super long, don't be afraid of putting more promotional links. So now let's recap. How do you actually structure your review? Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think there is a hard and fast rule with this. There is only a guidance. For me personally, I do not have a set standard structure because I always do a lot of research, and then I think about the topics that I want to discuss, and then I will put all those that are most interesting at the top first, and then all those standard information I will put it at the bottom, and then I will come on with a conclusion. Does this make sense to you? But if you want a standard structure for your review, I would say that at the top you are going to capture people's attention, and then in the middle you talk about what is the company, how does the product work, how it can benefit people, the pros and cons, and then you come with a conclusion. This is the standard. So I've just shared with you one of the most engaging review I have, and I have a few more that I want to share with you as well because they are as engaging as the ones I've just shared. I've left the links in the description box below. I highly suggest that if you want to learn a lot more about writing a highly effective review, you should read every one of them and understand the reasons behind the success of those reviews. I really hope that this video did help you, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, be sure to do so because lots of tips and tricks like this will be rolling out to you every single week. So stay tuned. Wishing you all the best to you and your business, and I hope to see you next week.